quick video on taking care of issues with your computer not powering up. These are pretty common issues, and I've got a whole bunch of calls on these today, so I figure why not do a quick video. If your computer doesn't turn on, press the power button, no lights, nothing. Go around to the back of your computer. Make sure that the cord is plugged in. What can happen is you can either be sitting there, or you have a dog or a cat or something like that, and they'll sometimes keep bumping the cable, and it kind of gets to a point where it either falls out or it's kind of sitting there a little bit loose. So just make sure that's plugged in nice and tight. The other thing is, go through and check the other end of the cable. Make sure that it's actually plugged in, because same thing, dogs, cats, your foot, whatever, hits the cable, it can fall out or bump out. Make sure your power switch, UPS, battery backup, or power strip is turned on. Another thing to try is go ahead and try switching the outlets. If the one that you're plugged in, go ahead and just plug into another outlet or directly into the wall, because sometimes your power strip can go bad, or just one socket on it. Another thing that sometimes happens is somebody is fooling around with your computer and they just turn it off on you on the back of the power supply. This switch is actually in the off position. Should be the 1 is on the flat side to indicate that it's on. So for purposes of this video, I've actually gotten the off position. But go ahead and just flip that into the on position and try your powering on your system again. Another thing to do is, if all that doesn't work, go ahead and unplug the power cord from your computer, set it to the side, and go up to the front and hold in your power button. Hold in for about 15-20 seconds, something like that, and then release it, and then press it a couple times. Of course, this isn't going to power on the system, but what it does is it discharges any built-in any capacitors, anything on your board. Your motherboard goes ahead, discharges that. Sometimes the motherboard gets confused and that it's in a different power state than it really is, or it's kind of stuck in like a limbo where it thinks it's on but it's not. So it discharges the motherboard. It also goes through and with your power supply, it basically takes any juice that's remaining in the power supply and uses it to try and turn on the system. That's why you go through and you press the power button a few times, because it basically tries to make the board go through and start up, and as a result of that, it discharges more juice out of your power supply. Then you can go through, plug up your cord, try turning on the computer again, and it should work. Probably about 90% of the time I find that this takes care of issues for people that say they don't have a powering on system anymore, and they don't have any issues again for years. And it's just one of those things, power surges, power drops, kind of causes it. Getting yourself a battery backup like that down there, you can pick them up Best Buy, Circuit City, well, Circuit City's out of business, Office Depot, places like that, pretty cheap. You're talking basically $50 for a low-end one that's got a little bit of power to run you for about 15 minutes or so. And that's really all you can do to prevent that kind of issue. As far as what could be going on with your system, if it still doesn't power on at this point, as it could be it's a bad power supply. Go through, check my video on testing power supplies, test your power supply out, see if it's bad, and then you can start working in, motherboard, probably an add-in card, something like that. Start with add-in cards after the power supply, and work your way in towards the motherboard. So, that's it for this video. Until next time, I'll see you later.